Guys, we are back in Make a Website project. Just a reminder, you're going to need to know some HTML and CSS. They don't hold your hand in these as much as the other ones. So we're on Innovation Cloud. We'll be adding a background image, making a button, and adding a navigation menu. And this will kind of give you a preview of what it's supposed to look like, give or take. You can mess around with the CSS a little bit, but just make it look somewhat like it, and it should be okay. Alright, so this says, in the header section, add text for a heading and a paragraph, add a link that says learn more. Write CSS style link into a button and change the background image. Alright, so if we go to style, there should be, well, first what I like to do is see what it looks like. Like right now, this is all that's there. Okay, so do they have a header section? Alright, add text for a heading. Okay, so find header. Let's see what they have it as. So Innovation Cloud. Alright. No quotes are needed. Alright. And a paragraph. Alright, and then below that we're going to add our paragraph, our p tag here. Don't forget to close it. And this is going to say connect your ideas, and write CSS to style the link to the button. Let's see, is this? So if you're like me, I like to look at my code every few seconds to see what it's looking like. So right now it's not displaying, probably because our font is white. So nothing to worry about. So yeah, our font's white. So the first thing we can probably do is add a background image. And to change the background image, feel free to use your own image. So let's see. I think we can put this in the header. Here's the image we use. Open it up. Copy the image URL. And then we're going to go back in here. Let's see, header. Alright, let's try this. So, background dash image colon, and don't forget the URL. Put that in there. Semicolon at the end. Now let's see what it looks like. Okay, so that didn't work. Body. So let's go back and look at, let's see where they put their background image. And if you're not familiar with Inspect Element, this is a really great tool. So you can click this, and then that's the header. Let's see. And then that's, alright, so it should, because you see how the header's right here, so it should have worked. So we're probably calling the background dash image wrong. So let's look back at here, background image URL. Alright, it looks right. So let's go one more time and see what it looks like. We'll just check it to see if that saved it. Alright, now let's see. Nope, still nothing. Alright, so there is our background image. So, maybe my memories, I just used this today at my workplace. Background image HTML, or it should be CSS rather. So let's see here. Background dash image colon URL. It shouldn't matter if there's a space there, but you never know. Alright, let's try this. Background dash color. And we'll just make it red. See, make sure we're targeting the right area, save it. Refresh this. Okay, so there's our font, there's our text. We also, let's try a different image. Background image, URL, and we'll get our own image from Unsplash. Unsplash.com, one of my favorite sites for all this stuff is free. So let's go ahead and take this, zoom in, copy image URL, put that in there. And also, because it's so much larger than the pixels we're working with, we're also going to say background dash width, no, background, we'll do it like this, dot header img, actually we're calling it in there, let's try this, width 100%, see if that does it. That should make it so that, oh, no, okay, so now we want to look at how do we make the background image the width of 100%. I thought background dash size, okay. There should be a way to size 100%, 100%. Okay, so what that means, I believe, is that we're going to have 100% width and 100% height. And I believe that's of the available container, in this case being the header. So let's see how that works. So we'll refresh it. There we go. So that's a little bit better. And it should adjust. So it's getting kind of elongated, which isn't what we want. So let's get rid of this second one and see if just the width works. Save. And let's refresh it. So now it should adjust to the width. You see how it adjusts to the width now? The only problem with that is when we get smaller, it's going to overlap like that. But there's something else we can do for that if we really wanted to get into it. So now it wants to style a button, and our code is still there. Right, so let's link to a button. What might actually be the better way to do it is to find the size of the image, now that I think about it. So if we save the image and we see what size it is, because I don't know the ratios off the top of my head. Let's open this up. Alright, so here is our image. It's properties and 3644 by 5466. So let's open up our calculator. What was the properties again? Alright, so 3644 by 5466. So 3644 divided by 5466. So, oops, other way around, excuse me. What we're going to do is set the higher one to 100% and the lower one not. So, in this case, it's the width. So we're going to have 3644 divided by 5466. And so it has basically a 67%, 66.6% chance. So we're going to go back to our code now. And so this is our width, and then our height we're going to set at 67%. So we save that, we refresh it, and now alright, forget what I was saying there. We could probably just, you don't want to hard code it, you want to do percentage points, but we would have to, let's try this, position absolute, and I think this may hold it in place. So yeah, this is going to change it a little bit, but no, that's not working. We'll have to come back to that, but as you can see, there's numerous ways where you can kind of figure out how to tie it all in together. Alright, but one more thing we need to do here is we need to write CSS to style link to a button. So in this case, we're gonna let's create our own class, and let's see if they have one already. Container. Where is Arc? Let's try it here. So we want to call our button. What was it that it did here? Learn more. .btn learn more. To be honest with you, I don't know the standard syntax for CSS and HTML. I just use CamelCase. I believe it's the technical name. So you just do whatever is best for you. But in this case, we'll do background dash color, and we'll do black. You can also put that in RGB and is it Hextech or Hextag? Whatever the pound ones are. And we will do, let's do background dash color, and we'll do a border white, border dash color white, and we'll also give it a border dash style solid. So now we have to call our button in here, and remember our class is button learn more. So in our container class, we'll call button class equals btn learn more, and then we'll put our text right here, learn more. We'll say /button, and if we really wanted to get fancy, we could call an a tag on it, ahref, and this will let us open up a link, and we'll just put # for the time being. We'll close it. Then we'll want to close it right here. And if we wanted to open it up in a new page, we could do target equals blank, so that'll open up in a new page. So let's save it, refresh our page. Localhost 8080. So there's our button in our container. So by looking at the previous one, it looks like if we want to do Innovation Cloud here, we might want to do something similar to what's going on there. We will want to take this. Let's go ahead and Control X, put this right here, and if we go to container, let's see, do they use container more than once? Yes, they do. So we may not want to style the container, but here is how we can write style in here. And normally people don't want you to do this. I'm kind of ambivalent to it. I kind of don't think it's that big of a deal. Actually, we wouldn't want to do the entire container. What we could do is, let's see here. We could do p style. We create another paragraph here. Close it. And this is how you write CSS, and if you don't already know, style equals, and I believe it's font. It could be text dash size. Let's try I think it's text dash size. Text dash size, and we'll set it to 44 px. I believe it's px. And so let's save it. Let's go to CRs. No, that's not right. So instead, let's try font. Save. So there you go. It's font dash size. We changed it up a little bit. So you can see our blue text here. It's getting a little bit of styling, I believe, from our button class here. We're using a different background. But more than anything else, let's try and use the image one more time. Copy image URL. I don't know why it wouldn't work with that background. It's kind of weird. So let's go ahead and... Oh, you know what? I put quotes in there. That's my fault. I was doing some coding over the weekend. It was a little bit different. So there's our Innovation Cloud. And Let's change the color. And you should be doing this again all in the CSS. Save. Is it text mesh color? Let's see. Integration cloud. Font dash color. Text dash color. Let's see if there's a font dash weight. Okay. Save. Refresh. What am I doing wrong here? So, just real quick search. Font color CSS. Oh, you know what? We don't have to do the text. Whoopsies. Alright, so just color, because we're just working with the p tag. So that should work just fine. There we go. It's Innovation Cloud, connect your ideas, and we're going to actually have 2 p tags because we want this to drop down and leave a little bit of a dramatic space there. So we can just go ahead and copy this over, and we'll just do style equals save, refresh. There's that, and we, in the sake of imitating what they had here, let's get our button look a little bit more like what they're going here. Let's increase this to 64. Save that. Learn more, and I believe in our styles class for our button we had a black background. I don't think we'll need this, and we will do color white. Save. Now let's go back to our local host. You should not border style. Color. Is it font dash color? Color white. Save. What are we doing wrong here? Is it because we made it an href? It's automatically blue in what we're going on here? Let's try it here. And because we have wrong code in here, we can go ahead and take that out. Save. Let's refresh that. There we go. So that's a little bit more. Let's make our font a little bit bigger. Font dash size. Let's make it like 25 px, and let's do border dash style, and we want none. Let's save that. Refresh what it looks like. Learn more. It's looking a little bit more like it now. Let's see here what it looks like. I think that's pretty good. Let's give it a little bit of padding and lower this a little bit. So we'll lower that, and we want to add some padding of about, let's try 10 pixels. And this should give it a little bit of space to each dimension if we don't specify padding dash top or padding dash bottom. So a little bit, about 10 pixels above. And let's do it like this. Dash top, and we'll give it 10 on the bottom. Padding dash bottom. 10 px. And let's also, we want to elongate it. Padding dash left. And we'll set that at, let's set that at 35 pixels. I think that should look good. And padding dash left, and we'll set that at 35 pixels as well, so it's nice and centered. Let's save, refresh. Oh, Let's move in the text. See what? Oh, I put 2 padding dash left. Okay, I was like, that's weird. That should work. Alright, so padding dash right. There we go. Save, refresh, and bam! We have a nice looking button. And we're just trying to get it a little bit like what it was before. So where we're at, this first step, I think we did pretty good. Obviously, you can always make it a little bit better. Alright, so next we're going to work on the nav section here, which, let's go back to our, this is it right here. So they already have a class called nav. So what we're going to want to do to start off is create a UL, unordered list. Let's close it, and you can see that we have 5 list items. So let's go ahead and create that, and we will just copy that over. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. One too many. All right, and we're gonna put our code in here, and schedule, and sponsors, and about, and then we have contact. Cool, and we save it. It's gonna not look anything like this. So let's go to our nav, nav UL. So let's go ahead and view our code right now, see what it looks like. So it looks like there is a little bit of like a list downwards, but we want it to be side by side. So let's do this. We'll do nav, oops, dot nav for, actually, they've already set it up right here, part of it. So what we want to do now is do text dash inline. Let's try this. Text inline. I believe this is it. I may have the keyword a little bit wrong. Nope. Alright, I know what I'm looking for though, so let's see here. Text inline. Li side by side. Let's see. Display inline. There we go. Alright, so display inline. And this is going to make it side by side. It doesn't have, the list style none takes away any of the bullet points that would normally be there. This should work. Let's try this. Dot nav li, so any of the nav objects fall within the li. Let's go ahead and save that, and now it should for sure work. There we go. Okay, so we have our display. Now what do we want to do? We want to give a background. Actually, this is where we're going to do it right here. Background dash color. We're going to set that to black. Save it. Refresh. So here's our black. And here we'll set color to white so we can see our stuff. Let's go ahead and refresh that. So there's that. And let's look at the original thing. So we want a little bit of spacing. We want it also to be so when we hover over it, it changes color. So let's go back to ours. We know what we need to do. We are going to float this left because we don't want it in the center. We want it to go to the left. So let's go back to our, where are we? Right now, li. So we want to float it left. Save that. Let's see if make sure that's working. All right, so it's float left. We want to give it some padding. Padding dash right. We only really need the right side to have padding, and we'll set that to, let's say, 40 pixels. We'll save that. Bam. There. So now there's that. Now we need to hover. Is it hover? No. Alright, so let's remember our hover. Let's go ahead and close these pages real quick. So, hover color change. So yes, hover. Alright, there we go. So, in here, what we want is for the .nav li hover. I believe it's I believe that's how we do it. We want to set the background dash color, and we could li hover should work. We just want to set that to blue. But this is more specific, so if there's any other list objects in our code, we don't want it to do the same thing. So let's go ahead and see if, so there's that. That's not what we want to do. We want each one of these to hover. So this is kind of working. So let's see what happens when we do UL. But it may actually only hover, it might turn the whole thing blue, but that's probably what's going to happen. But let's go ahead and save and experiment. So yeah, that's what happened right there. So instead, what we would need to do is create individual divs for each one. So this is what we're going to do. We're not going to name them. So every nav, that's a list item. That's also a div. We want to light that div up. So before we go and type all this out, it's always smart to test it, because we may have to do it the other way around, but this should work. Alright, so that didn't work. Let's just try that. Refresh that. No. I think it's working. I just think we need to break up our nav. So, alright. Well, it is working on the div, because we're not getting the other values. But how do we get this? So, alright, this is what we're going to do. We are going to break up our nav into separate classes. So what we want to do? Let's see our nav. No. What we could do is break all these up in divs, get rid of the main nav div, and it should work just fine.
Oh my God, why is it so hot?
Okay, guys. So instead of trying to worry about the tabs right now, I'm sure we could figure it out. But I just decided to change it to blue real quick. So, however, sorry about the break in there, but let's get back to it. Let's see here. In the main section, add an image. So we should write CSS to float the image to the left of the text. Okay, so let's write a image. If it's going to be that cloud image, so let's go ahead and open that up. This is the URL. Obviously, it's going to be too big for us to use, so what we're going to do here is, .cloud, we're going to set the image to image. Let's do background dash image, and we'll do URL. Put it in there. Semicolon. We want it to float left, so we want it on the left-hand side, and we want the size, the width of it, to be 250 px. And that should be good. Now we got to go back into here, and they wanted it in the container section. So here it is. This is also a container section. This was the text, I believe, that's to the left of it. So here we go. Let's div class equals cloud. Or was it clouds? Cloud. So our class equals cloud. Okay. Put our ending div right here. And put a div here as well. And so let's save, let's preview this. My mistake, we shouldn't have done that. I don't know why I put a div there. I save that. And image class. Let's do it this way. Image URL. Image src equals save, and then this isn't getting any formatting, so bam, it should be big as shit. Alright, and then we'll say, we'll just say class equals cloud, and we'll take this out of here, save it, refresh it. There we go. So you can see it floats to the left of everything. If we wanted to have it all blocked off to the side, we could. But I think this is good enough for now, just to kind of speed through. We took a solid amount of time on the first part of it. So in the next part, in the main section, we're going to create the Jumbotron. So let's find main. Here's main. And our ending div, so right here, we're going to create a div class equals Jumbotron. Don't forget to close your div as well. /div. And in here, add text for a heading and a paragraph. So in this case, we'll do code. We're doing code academies web project section. Alright, and let's make this an H2. Want it to look nice and big. /H2, and then add a paragraph in this div. So that's a p tag and /p, and we'll say, I'll say thank you. Oh, how about this? Hope you're learning alongside me. Alongside may be one word, so we'll put dash. Because I'm not sure. I'm bad with spelling. I apologize. Alright, right to style link and put the image in there. And this is the image. Copy image URL. Alright, so let's go to Jumbotron and we're going to create. I created some stuff real quick right here. So we have color white for the tag, H2 color white. And then we need, I believe I already created it down here as well. Container, Jumbotron position relative. No, that's theirs. Jumbotron text line, right? Oh yeah, they have some Jumbotron stuff here. Text line, right? Okay. Where is our? Yeah, some of the stuff is in here, some of it's not. Kind of why I don't like getting code and stuff like that. No, already mine. So what we're gonna do is do padding dash left because we don't want it to be right on. Oh no, excuse me, padding dash right because it's right aligned. So we want to give it 100 pixels. And same thing for here, padding. Oops. Same thing for the H2. We want it to be padding dash right and give it 100 pixels as well. So let's save that and see where we're at right now. So right now you can't see it because it's white. So we have to put an image in here. So let's just do it in here. Div class Jumbotron, and then we'll do image src equals alright. Oops. That's not what I want to do. I want it to be the Jumbotron. So we'll put it in the Jumbotron here. Background dash image URL. Let's get our URL one more time. And then we can do this for the size. So let's get a. We can leave the height there. I'm not sure if these will interrupt each other. So background dash size. And if you cover, it will cover the width without changing the picture. And there's another image we needed to do here, and I changed it up here earlier as I thought about it. So cover will make it. So let's see if that. I'm not sure if you can set a height and a cover. So you see right here, we're kind of on our way. You see these images are now they're adjusting accordingly without looping over. So let's zoom back in here. And what do we need to do? So let's take a quick look at. So this is looking pretty good. So let's take a look at what we want it to look like. So we want it to be centered. It's not. So how do we fix that? Well, there's a couple things we can do. For one, we can. Let's take a look at it quick. So we have it out, right? So let's lower this H2 and make that an H3 or even an H4. And then we'll have to change our CSS because we're changing that because that looks a little big in comparison. So go down to the Jumbotron and we're going to change that to an H4. And this is a good example of where you should put everything together. So we'll change that to an H4. And we can do padding dash top, or how do we want to do this? Jumbotron H4. It's not a line. Center of div. Let's see here. Horizontally center a div. ID outer style is on div ID inner. Foo div. Width 100%. Inner display table margin 0. Alright, so let's try this. Let's do margin dash top auto. So let's save that, and we may have to do margin dash bottom auto, and what this is going to do is, in theory, it should center our H4 tag. So let's see if that worked. It did not work. Alright, so what happened here? So let's save it real quick. Oh, whoops. That's a 2. That's a 2. And this needs to be a 4. And a 4. Make sure you're changing the right section. So margin desktop, auto, save. We don't want to do pixels just because it's not going to look too good, unfortunately. Because everyone's going to be on different devices, so we want to either have it do auto or do a percentage, so shit doesn't move around. Okay, so let's try this. Let's do margin desktop 50%, margin desk bottom. Let me cut that out for a second. Huh. So let's take a look at how they did it. So we want to inspect the element, stay connected, the H2 tag. So text align dash right. But how did you get it down? Let's see here. So div jumbotron. H2 display block. I don't know what this margin dash webkit dash 4 and end is. What is display block? Let's look that up real quick. It's always good to understand what we're doing. So let's see here. So we display it like a block, just like that. Okay, so let's mess around with that. So instead of just being this, let's call our H4 and we'll do it like this. So display block, so it takes up the whole amount right there. And then we want it to with 50% margin 0 auto. Alright, so it should center this. Alright, so the H4. Alright. Let's try it like this. Let's try text align. You can use this sometimes with images as well. Save. I don't think this is going to work though. So it centered the text here, which is nice, but that's not what we wanted. So we'll do it like this. Padding dash top 50%. That should do it. There you go. So there's our padding. Bam. Alright, so that knocks it down. Let's see what else we got going on here. So we're down in the middle, and next up it wants us to add a button that says join. So we'll just use the same CSS class we used, class, and this is a bad example of a class, a bad naming example, btn learn more, because we're using the same style of class. So we'll just put join. We also put a ahref real quick. We won't put it to open in a new page because we don't need it to. I just wanted to use that as an example earlier. And then end our button. And in here we'll also do style equals text. Actually, let's see how this looks like, because I don't fully remember the styling. So let's go ahead with that. And then join, and then we will put style. We'll do it like this, actually. I always think it's font dash color, but it's actually just font is its own element. So we'll do font style equals color white, and then we'll end the font right here, /font. Save it. That should change it to white. Cool. And then we want to probably shift this a little bit to the left. So how do we want to do that? So we want to shift it. We don't want to add padding to the actual button. We want to shift it to the left. So let's see. How would we do that? Alright, so we'll use position. Position S left. That's what it was. Alright, so white and then position. God, I always spell that so bad. Position dash left minus 100px. I think you can do negative. So let's save that. I'm almost positive you can. No, wrong spot to put that in. Style equals, there we go. Font doesn't have that property. Let's try position dash right 100px. Save. Let's try this. Text dash align center. That should center it. Thing is, if I give the button padding, oh, you know what? Shit. That slash right there means that everything we just tested may not work. So you see that's aligning to the right. So let's try this. Let's go back to the position dash left minus 100px. Let's try that. Okay, well, just because we're in a hurry, we'll come back to that another time. It probably simply has to do with, God, it's not padding. Uh, why can't I do this? Or can I do it? H2.post. Let's see here. Let's try one more search here. Good old Stack Overflow. Okay, let's try this. Style equals and then we want to set it to the width, not the width, the left and the right. I want to set it to 60%. Position absolute, left, 60%. Save. I may have to do this in the actual CSS. Oh, there we go. Alright, cool. So, let's try the other direction at 50%. Save. See if we can get that little line a little bit better. Actually, it should have been 70%. And we don't have to get it just right, but it's not bad. There you go. So that looks pretty good. Bam. So, there we go. And last but not least, create a div class called footer. So let's go ahead and, let's see, did I already create this in here? Yes, I did. Okay, cool. So let me, so what we're going to do is set the footer width 100% because we want it to go across the entire bottom of the page. So the background color to black, because that's what it was. Give it whatever font size you want. And then we're going to add some top padding and bottom padding. So let's go ahead and put this in here right now. So it's at the very last stage. So we're in div class equals footer. And then we'll just put my YouTube. YouTube.com/pizza poker guy 87, and we're going to close the div. Now let's save it and see what we have here. So there's, okay, so you can see our font is there, but we don't have any colors. So because we're using the footer, there may be another way to do this, but for the footer, oh, they already have a footer. We should just change it. Okay. In this case, let's just do font style equals color white, and we should probably do this in CSS, but this will work as well. /font. Save. Alright, now let's refresh our page, and I think we're done. Let's go ahead and look this up real quick. Innovation Cloud, connect your ideas, learn more. There's our button. It's under target blank, so it's going to open up in a new page. We have our navigation here. It's a little bit different, but you know, we're still learning. We can always adjust it. We learned about the hover and changing the colors, floating the image left. We should another improvement on here, other than maybe centering these, and then having maybe up in the text is right here. This is too close. We need to give it some padding next time. That'd be a great improvement for us. Oh, unfortunately, when we open the page up this much, you can see that our font is a little bit relative. So the way we did our text and this is not what we should do. So we have it to the correct part right here. So let's try this. Let's do, because it's not moving in regards to where it is on the page. So instead, what we can do is set, let's see if this will help, right to 30%. We'll set top to, let's say, 80%, and bottom to 20%. And let's see if that will at least save the button from moving off the image. Oh, no, it's it moved it up too much. So we'll have to mess with that in the next video. But for now, I think we did all right for how quick we blew through this. So definitely need to work a little bit on positioning. Here's our header at the bottom, or our footer rather. But the way we got this to stick is not how we should do it. You can see right there, that is a bad idea. So I'll have to look into how to make it stick a little bit better, and definitely work on our naming our classes a little bit better in the future. But all in all, I say we're done on this project. It's not perfect, but I mean, this is really for our own practice. And in the next video, hopefully we'll make it a little bit cleaner and a little bit easier. Up next, let's see what we got going on. Continue to move. So if I remember correctly, it's a Nike. So we're going to be recreating this. And I don't think the images are going to be like this. I imagine they're going to have us change the hues of the actual image, which is pretty cool. So a lot of things we've already done. We're going to get a little bit better at hovering, and every one of these videos I hope we all improve. So as always, leave questions, comments, any concerns, anything constructive is always welcome, guys. Just no negativity is all I ask for. Constructive criticism is always welcome, though. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.